Johnny Gill and Jahim on Bumalanga's Rounds FM will have Khaled in just a bit. But since it is a relationship Thursday, we're speaking to a relationship expert. Her name is Paula Quinsee. Paula, great to have you with us. Just yesterday, we were talking about how most of us grew up and the form of discipline that we experienced with our parents. And so we figured, why not talk about the kind of relationships that as parents we should have with our kids?
Absolutely. The parenting style has changed over the years from, decades ago to what it is now. And there is a perception out there that today's kids are a lot more spoiled or indulged than, a couple of years ago. And I think it's just because the times have changed, particularly from a home environment where both parents are working these days because they have to, not because they want to, particularly from a financial perspective. And so, it's becoming more difficult to parent and discipline. Some people feel that kids are indulged because parents are trying to overcompensate for not being available. Absolutely. Whereas other parents not, and also in the school system where corporal punishment has been done away with. People are saying that has also changed how children behave these days. So,
And I want to say that because of the way that we were brought up, the way that we were disciplined as kids, that immediately when you want to discipline your kid, you go back to what was done to you, which is wrong, really. So what would you say maybe are some of the disciplines that we can implement as parents, apart from, the slapping and all of that stuff?
So you're absolutely right. We invariably end up parenting the way we were parented because that is our frame of reference. That is our benchmark. So a lot of the times you will find yourself saying things or doing things and you'll go, oh my word, that's my mother or my father coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But I think today, and especially with the work that I do and the feedback that I get around parents and children is ultimately what children really want and need from their parents is their undivided attention. And when they don't get it from their parents, children will act out and behave what they are not getting because they don't necessarily have the emotional maturity and or vocabulary to express themselves or articulate what they're needing. So parents will assume that kids are sulking or being difficult or those kind of things. So I think from a parenting point of view, if you have, is to make the time for your children and really connect with them, get into their worlds, understand what's going on in their worlds, how they need you to be there for them. And then also what the rules are in terms of this is how the family will behave, this is how we treat each other, this is how we respect each other. So in other words, family values. How do you instill and live those values from a behavior point of view? And then how do you hold your children accountable for when they are not living those rules? So punishment, for example, nowadays the quickest way to punish a child is to take their device away because their devices are so important to them. But I think it is if you can help your children understand why they are being punished, so in other words, the consequences of their actions and their behaviors, and help them to make decisions with understanding why am I making this decision, what is the consequence, and am I okay living with that consequence?
Okay. That sounds good to me. I mean, my daughter is 4, and I think when she was 1, I was a bit hard on her because I did what my parents did to me. It got to a point where she got so comfortable with the discipline that whenever she did something wrong, she would say, do it, Mama, do it. And that's when I realized that it's not working.
Yeah, absolutely. And children will push the boundaries. They will test the boundaries, because that's part of our growth and part of our development is we push and test the boundaries to understand where our world starts and stops. So it's about how do you help your child make age-appropriate decisions? How do you teach them in an age-appropriate way? So that they can understand that, yes, you know what, it's okay to be angry and cross and express yourself, but it's not okay to throw your toy at me or slap me in the face or whatever it might be. So how to express their emotions in a healthy way versus a negative way, and, teach them age-appropriate decision-making and repercussions and consequences. And then how do you reward them for good behavior at the same time?
Yeah. Thank you so much, for Paula, for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you so much, and have a good day to you and the listeners.
Thank you, you too. That's Paula Quinsee. She is a relationship expert, a speaker, and author of Embracing Conflict and Embracing No. Yeah, we'll have her next week, same time. Khaled will be next in Randburg.